One moment, you're climbing the ladder. The next, you're packing up your desk, wondering what just happened. No warning. No safety net. Just a strange offer to sell mattresses from a vacant car dealership. Sounds absurd? It was the start of a six-figure business. Welcome to the $100 Startup, real stories of ordinary people who turned uncertainty into freedom using almost nothing. If you believe in second chances and bold moves, hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring entrepreneurial journeys. A quick guide to getting everything you want. Picture a life where your time is fully your own, where every hour is spent doing what you care about most. Imagine channeling your energy into a project you created rather than playing a small role in someone else's money-making machine. Visualize handing your boss a note that says, "Dear boss, I no longer need your services. Thanks for the ride, but I'm choosing my own path now." Now imagine that today is your last day working for anyone but yourself. What if not years from now, but sooner than you think, your workday started with opening your laptop at home, walking into a shop you built, or calling a client who trusts you for real solutions? What if work finally meant freedom? That's exactly what thousands of people around the world are doing. They're leaving behind outdated systems, becoming their own bosses, and shaping a future they actually want to live. They're part of a growing movement of unexpected entrepreneurs, regular people building small but powerful businesses. It's a quiet revolution built on independence, purpose, and making a good living without giving up your life. Unlike books that obsess over tech startups or tell you to write massive business plans no one ever reads, this guide is different. It focuses on two things that matter most: freedom and value. Freedom is the goal. Value is how you get there. Part 1. Unexpected entrepreneurs. You already have the skills you need, you just have to recognize them. The need for change bulldozed a road down the center of my mind. Maya Angelou. On the morning of May 4, 2009, Michael Hanna dressed in his Nordstrom suit and a bright tie before heading to his downtown Portland office. With 25 years of sales experience, Michael was used to packed days filled with client meetings, pitches, and constant emails. That morning began like any other. He skimmed news headlines and handled his inbox. One message from his boss asked him to come by later in the day. Michael went through the routine, meetings, calls, and prepping for a big pitch. After lunch with a client and a coffee stop, he returned to send off a few more emails before his meeting. When he arrived in his boss's office, something felt off: no eye contact. Then it all seemed to unfold in slow motion. Michael had heard about people being laid off, but he never thought it would happen to him. Citing the economic downturn and necessary layoffs, his boss let him go. An HR rep showed up with a cardboard box to pack up his belongings. Dazed, Michael headed home early that day, unsure of how to break the news to his wife, Mary Ruth, and their kids. What followed was a tough period of unemployment and job searching. Michael had impressive credentials, but the job market was saturated with people just like him. Things were shifting in his industry, and it was uncertain whether he'd return to a comparable role. Then a friend who owned a furniture store mentioned he had a truckload of surplus mattresses he didn't need. He suggested Michael try selling them on Craigslist. It sounded far-fetched, but with no job prospects, Michael thought, why not? Even breaking even would be better than nothing. He called his wife and said, "It's a long story, but can I buy a bunch of mattresses?" He then needed a place to store and sell them. He found an abandoned car dealership and negotiated a deal with the landlord. The first batch sold quickly through Craigslist and word of mouth. The biggest challenge? Figuring out how to answer customers' questions about which mattress to choose. Michael admitted he had no experience, no plan, and no real idea what he was building, only that he didn't want it to feel like the typical pushy mattress store. Seeing potential, he learned everything he could about mattresses, partnered with local suppliers, and secured the old showroom as a semi-permanent space. Mary Ruth created a website. The idea of a friendly, no-pressure mattress store struck a chord in Portland. Business boomed even more when the store introduced bike delivery, literally delivering mattresses by bicycle, with free delivery for customers who rode their bikes to the shop. Michael's unconventional business was profitable from the very start, supporting his family and giving him a new purpose. 2 years later, he found that same Nordstrom suit hanging untouched in his closet. He took it to Goodwill and biked over to the store he now ran with pride. I went from corporate life to delivering mattresses by bike, and I've never been happier, he said. Not far from Michael's store, Sarah Young was launching a yarn shop in the midst of the same economic downturn. Asked why she took the leap with no business background, she replied, "I wasn't inexperienced, I just had a different kind of experience. I was a shopper. I knew what I wanted, and when I couldn't find it, I created it." Her yarn shop was turning a profit within 6 months and gained a loyal international following. Elsewhere in the world, many entrepreneurs skip the physical storefront entirely. In England, Susanna Conway began teaching photography online as a hobby only to discover she was making more than she had as a journalist. When asked what surprised her most, she replied, "I didn't even realize I was starting a business." Benny Lewis graduated with an engineering degree in Ireland but never used it traditionally. Instead, he made a living as a language hacker, traveling and helping people quickly learn new languages. His take? "Stop calling it a business, I'm just having fun." Welcome to the world of micro-entrepreneurship, a space where independent creators build profitable ventures with little to no startup costs. Indian bloggers make 6 figures annually. Solo publishers work from Buenos Aires or Bangkok. One-person product launches can earn $100,000 in a single day, sometimes so fast that banks temporarily freeze their accounts, unsure of what's happening. Many of these entrepreneurs succeed by giving things away first, cultivating loyal communities that later support their paid offerings. Megan Hunt, who creates handmade wedding items, said, "My marketing is strategic generosity." Scott Meyer from South Dakota added, "Empowering others is our best strategy. We offer free training, materials, and support to anyone who asks." While the idea of going solo in business isn't new, ancient merchants and rural marketplaces prove that today's tools make launching faster and more affordable than ever. The handyman who once stapled flyers now uses Google Ads. The barriers are lower, the reach is broader, and the connections are instant. This isn't an exclusive club, it's a growing, grassroots movement. Everyday people are leaving traditional jobs and shaping their own careers, often without formal training or large sums of money. These unexpected entrepreneurs turn passions into profits and redefine what success looks like. What if you could join them? What if you could create a life of freedom, setting your own schedule and goals? The good news, you can. And you don't have to wait. The time is now. The $100 Startup Framework. I've been hearing about untraditional businesses for years, while also running my own. Many of these are solo ventures that generate real profits with minimal startup investment. In preparation for this book, I began collecting stories from friends, colleagues, and strangers alike. In 2010, I ran a series of workshops on budget-friendly business ideas with Pamela Slim, author of Escape from Cubicle Nation. The first session sold out in 90 minutes. A second, months away, filled up before lunch. Clearly, the demand was there. I became fascinated by the follow your passion approach, building a business from a personal interest. I documented stories from around the world and shared them in a course called the Empire Building Kit, which later became the foundation for this book. To gather more examples, I created a Google form to collect data. Thousands responded. I eventually narrowed it down to over 1,500 solid case studies, all meeting at least 4 of these 6 criteria. Built on passion, these businesses stem from personal hobbies or interests. Not every passion is profitable, but some are big time. Low startup cost, less than $1,000 to launch, ideally under $100. Earning at least $50,000 annually, the businesses had to earn at least as much as a typical salary in North America. No specialized training required. These businesses rely on skills that anyone can learn through short training or self-study. Financial transparency, participants shared real revenue and expense data from recent years. Fewer than 5 employees, most of the businesses are solo ventures or use freelancers, maintaining simplicity and flexibility. I excluded businesses that were adult, shady, or overly technical. The test was simple. Could you explain this to your grandmother, and would you? Half the stories came from the US, the rest from around the world. I looked for originality and creativity, not just profitability. For example, Lisa Selman's dog care business didn't seem remarkable at first until she mentioned it brought in $88,000 in 1 year and was on track for 6 figures the next. Now I was curious. Each case study involved detailed surveys, financial disclosures, and follow-up interviews by phone, video, or in person. My aim was to find shared patterns and highlight them in a way that would help you replicate their success. In the world of business, we usually hear about 2 models. 1. Traditional model, big companies, investors, corporate planning, and long timelines. 2. Venture-backed startups, fast-growth tech companies seeking investors and acquisitions. These models have their place. But there's a third way, one that's easy to overlook. The businesses featured in this book were launched without investment, without employees, and often without a detailed plan. They started by testing something, seeing if it worked, and adjusting quickly. Many began after a personal crisis, a job loss, an illness, or a desire for something more meaningful. From Portland to Pennsylvania to London, people like Michael Hanna, Jessica Reagan Salzman, and David Henzel took control of their future and built something on their own terms. Some scaled up. Others stayed small. But all chose freedom. This is their story. It could be yours too. Lesson 1. Convergence. Convergence happens at the point where what you enjoy or excel at, ideally both, intersects with what others value enough to pay for. Think of it as the sweet spot between personal passion and market demand. To visualize it, imagine 2 overlapping circles. One represents your skills or interests, and the other represents what people want or are willing to pay for. Not everything you love or are talented at will attract others. For example, you might love eating pizza, but no one's going to pay you to do it. Likewise, you can't expect to solve every problem or appeal to everyone. However, in the overlap of these circles, where what you care about meets what's useful to others, you'll find a powerful foundation for a successful micro-business that offers both freedom and value. Lesson 2. Skill transformation. Many of the businesses featured in this book were created by people using transferable or adjacent skills. Not always the most obvious ones. Take teachers, for example. Beyond teaching, they often possess strong communication skills, adaptability, crowd management, lesson planning, and the ability to work with various stakeholders. Skills that can easily be applied in other areas, including entrepreneurship. Consider Kat Alder, a German expat working as a waitress in London. A customer once told her she'd be great in PR. She didn't even know what PR stood for at the time, but she knew she was good at engaging people, upselling menu items, and providing a great experience. After being laid off from a temp job at the BBC, she remembered that comment. With no formal experience, she landed her first client within a month. For years later, Kat's PR firm had offices in London, Berlin, New York, and China, proving that people's skills learned from waitressing could be transformed into a thriving business. Success doesn't always depend on being the best at a single thing. Scott Adams, creator of Dilbert, described his achievement as the result of combining modest abilities in drawing, writing, humor, and business. Individually, none of these made him stand out. Together, they created unique value. So ask yourself, what combination of your skills could be useful to others? Lesson 3. The magic formula. Bringing together convergence and skill transformation gives us a simple formula. Passion or skill plus usefulness equals success. Throughout the book, we'll revisit this equation in various real-life examples. Jaden Hare, for instance, started Steamy Kitchen, a cooking blog and show featuring Asian cuisine, with just $200. By sharing quick, healthy recipes her audience loved, she built a brand that led to cookbooks, TV appearances, and sponsorships. Brandon Pierce, once a piano teacher, built scheduling software for himself out of personal necessity. Other teachers noticed and asked for access. What began as a hobby became a business earning more than $30,000 a month. Brandon now lives with his family in Costa Rica and travels the world. The road ahead, what you'll learn. As we explore the path to personal freedom, we'll break down the core components of building a micro-business. You don't need an MBA, startup capital, or a long-term business plan. All you need is 1. A product or service, something to offer. 2. A group of people willing to pay for it, your audience or market. 3. A way to get paid, a method of transaction. Without all three, you don't have a functioning business. A great product without customers? No business. An interested audience with nothing to buy? No business. No way to get paid? Still no business. But put them together and you're officially an entrepreneur. The core structure is simple, but effective businesses often start with a well-crafted offer, a combination of product/service and compelling messaging that shows people why they should care. Once the offer is in place, you can focus on growing your income through strategy and hustle. A strong launch can generate excitement and momentum much more effectively than quietly introducing your product and hoping for the best. We'll go deep into each part of this process using real-world case studies, breaking down how ordinary people have turned simple ideas into income-generating businesses. We'll also examine how they scaled, adapted, and overcame challenges. A constant theme: freedom through change. Change is the thread running through every story in this book. James Kirk, for example, left his career in tech and moved from Seattle to South Carolina to open Jamestown Coffee. He didn't have all the answers, but once he decided to act, there was no turning back. A few months later, his coffee shop launched to a ribbon-cutting ceremony, the local mayor, and a crowd of eager customers. That first leap of commitment is crucial. Planning and strategy matter, but deciding to go for it is the real starting point. Key takeaways. Micro-businesses aren't new, but the ability to launch quickly and affordably is. Every business starts with three things: something to sell, someone to sell to, and a way to get paid. Everything else is optional. Skill transformation is powerful. If you're good at one thing, chances are you have other valuable abilities you haven't fully explored. Success comes from combining passion or skill with something others need or want. Jeremy Brown, who dropped out of technical school, later founded a successful company. Ironically, the school invited him back as a success story, unaware that leaving their program had enabled his success. As Scott Adams put it, success often comes from combining average skills in a unique way. That's how real value is created. Rephrased in paragraph form. In building a successful micro-business, the key isn't struggling to find a perfect idea and hoping it resonates with customers. The easier and more effective path is to discover what people already want and then provide it. Consider the analogy of going out to dinner. If you order salmon risotto at a restaurant, you don't expect the chef to invite you into the kitchen to help prepare it. You're paying not just for the food, but for the convenience, service, and experience. Yet many businesses are built as if customers want to be involved in the process rather than simply enjoying the result. This outdated approach stems from the popular idea of teaching a man to fish, but most customers don't want to fish, they want dinner served. True success comes from giving people what they actually want, not what you think they need. For example, John and Barbara Varian, former furniture makers in Parkfield, California, shifted careers after a fire destroyed much of their inventory. They transformed their ranch into the V6 Ranch, offering horseback riding and immersive experiences on 20,000 acres. But what they really sell isn't just horse rides. It's freedom. Guests, many of whom are stressed-out professionals, come to temporarily escape their everyday lives and experience something entirely different. Similarly, Kelly Newsom, a high-powered Manhattan lawyer-turned-yoga instructor, left her $240,000 a year job for something more fulfilling. She built a successful yoga business serving busy executive women and found happiness helping clients find peace, even during a snowstorm that temporarily halted her income. Both stories illustrate that these entrepreneurs aren't just selling services. They're offering emotional benefits: freedom, peace, happiness, and transformation. Business ideas can come from anywhere. Inefficiencies in the market, emerging technologies, shifts in physical spaces, or spin-offs from existing ideas. When thinking of potential projects, it's vital to ask, how will I get paid? How much? And can I get paid more than once? The foundation of any good business lies in the value it provides. Value in this context simply means helping people in a meaningful way. Successful entrepreneurs understand that customers connect more deeply with benefits than with features. Features describe what something is, while benefits explain what it does emotionally for the customer. For example, a ranch offers horse rides, but the benefit is personal freedom. A yoga session offers exercise, but the benefit is clarity, calm, and confidence. Going deeper, photographer Kyle Hepp noticed that while clients said they didn't want traditional wedding photos, they often ended up grateful she had taken them anyway, pleasing both the couples and their families. She anticipated their emotional needs even when they didn't express them. Similarly, Perna Dugirala built a thriving business around Excel training, not by emphasizing technical skills, but by helping clients feel like heroes in front of their bosses. He turned something mundane into something empowering. These examples show that when entrepreneurs shift their focus from what their business does to how it makes people feel, they unlock real value. This emotional connection creates loyal customers and long-term success. In the end, offering happiness, transformation, or freedom is far more compelling than just delivering a product or service. Strategy 3. Sell what people buy, rephrased in paragraph form. When deciding what to sell, the most effective strategy is to focus on what people are already buying. That means identifying what they want, not just what you think they need. A personal story helps illustrate this. Early in his business journey, the author launched a product called Travel Ninja based on his experience visiting over 150 countries and flying more than 200,000 miles annually. The product aimed to teach others how to book complex travel routes, find airline mistakes, and save money. Initial feedback seemed positive, and he expected strong sales, especially since a previous product had sold 500 copies quickly. However, Travel Ninja sold only 100 copies on launch day, which was disappointing. Customer feedback was glowing, but few actually bought the product. The issue? Too much complexity. Most people didn't want to dive into the details of airline systems, they simply wanted cheap tickets. He realized he had been too eager, taking people into the kitchen rather than just giving them the meal they wanted. A year later, he launched a simplified version called Frequent Flyer Master with messaging like, maybe you don't want to travel to 20 countries a year like I do. But if you could go to one place for nearly free, where would it be? That product sold 500 copies on launch day and earned over $50,000 in its first year. Building on that success, he later launched Travel Hacking Cartel, offering bite-sized, actionable travel hacks. This time the message was clearer: don't worry about the details, just follow our steps to earn free flights. That product attracted 3,000 customers on the first day, his most successful launch yet. The key lesson: success came from giving people what they wanted, not what he thought they should learn. Launching a successful micro-business doesn't require lots of money or special training. It starts with having a product or service, identifying an audience, and setting up a way to get paid. The 6 basic steps include deciding what to sell, creating a simple website. WordPress.org is a free option, developing an offer distinct from just having a product, setting up a payment method, like PayPal, announcing the offer, and learning from feedback to improve. These steps form the foundation for almost any small business, and the sooner you begin, the better. If you already have a business, focus on generating income and developing new offers, not getting lost in administrative tasks. Ask yourself, can you offer a discount to past customers? Launch a complimentary product? Offer prepayment deals for coaching or services? Or attract new subscribers with a special promotion? In short, just take action, because action leads to clarity and results. Another major insight is understanding what people really want. Generally, people want more of certain things, like money, love, acceptance, and free time, and less of others, like stress, debt, and conflict. Businesses that provide either more of the good or less of the bad are positioned to succeed. For example, a spa helps people relax and feel pampered. A good restaurant provides not just food, but an experience free from stress. Brooke Snow, a photographer and musician, once struggled to make a living teaching in her small Utah town. But after a canceled class led to meeting a student specializing in distance education, she transitioned her teaching online. With his help, she created an online course and doubled her income in the first year, from $30,000 to $60,000. Brooke credits part of her success to embracing a mindset of helping others. Rather than fear training the competition, she chose to teach openly and generously. That mindset of freely giving built trust, community, and income. Ultimately, successful businesses solve real problems by giving people what they want and need in a way that is clear, helpful, and emotionally resonant. Value means helping others. When you focus on creating real value by addressing people's desires, fears, and aspirations, you position yourself for long-term success. Whether you're creating a yoga practice that brings peace to executives or a travel product that delivers free flights, the principle remains: help people be happy and they'll reward you for it. As the book emphasizes, always focus on how your offer improves someone's life, whether by adding something desirable or removing a burden. Then get ready to get paid. Get paid to do what you love, as long as others want it too. Passion is a powerful motivator, but it isn't always the best guide for building a successful business. As Ralph Waldo Emerson noted, passion, though a bad regulator, is a powerful spring. Many people dream of turning their passion into a profitable venture, but the key is making sure that passion connects to something other people actually want or need. Take Gary Leff, for example. A full-time CFO by day, Gary turned his passion for travel hacking, earning and redeeming frequent flyer miles, into a profitable side business. Most people, especially busy executives or retirees, struggle to understand how to redeem miles effectively. Gary fills that gap, charging $250 to plan award travel itineraries that often save clients thousands of dollars. His knowledge of airline loopholes and his ability to create complex routes make his service incredibly valuable. The business started informally through word of mouth and forums, then grew into something he could charge for. Today, despite a demanding day job, Gary earns over $75,000 a year on the side from this passion project and uses his own miles to travel luxuriously with his wife. This kind of follow-your-passion business isn't rare. Across the board, people are building profitable ventures out of what they love, so long as others find value in it. Megan Hunt, for instance, always wanted to be an entrepreneur. After working desk jobs to save capital, she launched a successful business designing custom wedding dresses and accessories. Though she faced setbacks like lost shipments and refunding money she didn't have, she persisted and now runs the business full-time, even bringing her child to work. For her, entrepreneurship means freedom, unlimited earning potential, and the joy of doing meaningful work every day. Still, turning a passion into income isn't always straightforward. It's not enough to love something, other people need to want it and be willing to pay for it. You must find the convergence between your passion, your skill, and what the market values. Passion alone is not enough, just ask Mignon Fogarty. Before creating the hit podcast Grammar Girl, she poured effort into another podcast, Absolute Science, which never took off financially despite her enthusiasm. Eventually, she pivoted to a niche with a stronger market fit, helping people improve their grammar in a fun, accessible way. The most successful passion-driven businesses understand that the value lies not in the passion itself, but in how that passion can help others. Author and traveler Chris Guillebeau, for instance, didn't get paid just to travel. He got paid by creating content and resources that helped others pursue their dreams. Likewise, Benny Lewis didn't make money simply by learning languages. He built a business around helping others do the same. His brand, Fluent in 3 months, came from a combination of his skill, a clear method, and a willingness to package and share what he knew. While the learning process was personal, the business success came from providing value to others in an engaging, accessible way. Another crucial point is understanding the difference between a hobby and a business. Just because you love doing something doesn't mean you should try to monetize it. Some passions are best left as hobbies, especially if they provide stress relief or joy that could be compromised by financial pressure. Turning a passion into a job often changes your relationship with it, sometimes for the worse. To determine whether a passion-based business is right for you, consider doing a reality check. Ask yourself, is there a market for this? Do people already spend money on it? Can I provide a unique, valuable service or product around it? Most importantly, will turning this into a business make me happier or just add stress? As Benjamin Franklin wisely advised, if passion drives you, let reason hold the reins. A passion can absolutely fuel a meaningful business, but only when it's aligned with purpose, strategy, and the needs of others. Instead of simply enjoying a hobby during your free time, consider whether you'd still love doing it for at least 20 hours a week. Do you enjoy teaching others about your hobby? Do you find satisfaction in the intricate details of the activity? Even if administrative tasks were involved, would you still find it fulfilling? These are the personal questions to reflect on. On the other hand, marketplace questions are equally vital. Have others requested your help or guidance in this area? Are people willing to pay for your knowledge or services? Are there existing businesses serving this market, ideally in a different way than you would? Many entrepreneurs have nuanced views about the follow your passion advice. Rarely does anyone fully endorse or reject it. The reality is that passion alone isn't enough. A successful business emerges when passion is paired with a valuable skill that solves a real problem for people. Think of it as passion plus skill applied to a problem with a market creates opportunity. For instance, Gary's enthusiasm for travel means little without his skill in booking award tickets. Megan's love for dress design wouldn't matter if no one wanted to buy her dresses. Transforming a passion into a business requires choosing the right business model. Different entrepreneurs use different approaches. Gary charges a fixed consulting fee. Benny sells a digital language learning guide that brings in passive income. Megan sells custom wedding dresses and also runs a co-working space, making her income diversified but labor-intensive. And Mignon provides free podcasts supported by sponsorships, which offers steady revenue but comes with trade-offs in control. Each model has its strengths and drawbacks, but they all rely on finding the right match between a product or service and its intended audience. When that match exists, passion can fuel a highly successful business. A great example is Gabriella Redding from Venice, California, who turned her love for hula hooping into a $1 million business after using it to lose weight. Previously a tattoo artist and restaurant owner, she described artists as serial entrepreneurs who must learn to sell their work or risk becoming starving artists. Ultimately, it's much more rewarding to earn a living doing what you love. The key lies in finding the right combination of passion, target audience, and business model. Key points to remember: successful businesses solve problems. The business model is often based on something related to a passion, not the passion itself. Not every hobby is fit to become a business, and not everyone wants their hobby to become work. However, a focused consulting business can be launched quickly, and specificity increases its effectiveness. The old adage, location, 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 is often overrated in today's connected world. As John Le Carre once said, a desk is a dangerous place from which to view the world. With a carry-on bag, running shoes, and a few changes of clothes, the author describes flying from Portland to Vancouver and onward to Hong Kong. The long flight offers time for a mix of movie watching, sleeping, and working. Upon landing, there's no wait for luggage, just a quick train into the city, a Wi-Fi connection, and a flood of new emails. From checking in with a designer to managing customer support and reviewing blog metrics, work continues seamlessly. Though hostels are often an option, the need for a 2 a.m. call with North America warrants a stay at the Conrad Hotel. After adjusting to the time zone, a blend of morning work and afternoon exploration forms a routine. This lifestyle of travel, work, and flexibility is not only possible but already a reality for thousands of people. The business fits their lives, not the other way around. Brandon Pierce, for instance, was a piano teacher in Utah who noticed how much time music teachers waste on administrative tasks. He built Music Teacher's Helper to automate scheduling, reminders, and billing. What started as a personal project became a thriving business with multiple pricing tiers, including a high-end option at $588 per year. Brandon now lives with his family in Costa Rica, manages a distributed team, and only works 8 to 15 hours per week. His business earns $360,000 annually and continues to grow as more teachers sign up. They live a flexible life, even taking trips to Guatemala as needed for visa runs. Kyle Hepp, another example, moved from Michigan to Chile and unexpectedly launched a photography career after being hit by a truck and losing her contract job. During recovery, she and her husband took a trip to Europe. Before leaving, she updated her website and accepted a booking. That led to more clients and eventually to a full-time international wedding photography business. Earning $90,000 a year and fully booked a year ahead, Kyle now works worldwide. Her clients, many of whom are frequent travelers themselves, hire her not just for her talent but because they value the relationships she builds. Bernard Vukas, originally from Croatia, lives and works anywhere he wants, including Thai beaches with just a backpack and laptop. He specializes in optimizing Microsoft Office processes for businesses. Initially offering low prices by Western standards, Bernard later tripled his rates and now makes as much in one day as many Croatians make in a month. While he may return to Croatia someday, this lifestyle, built on location independence, is hard to leave behind. For aspiring digital nomads, it's easier to maintain a mobile business than to start one while on the road. Preparation is essential, with many countries offering 90-day stays to U.S. and Canadian citizens. Visa runs allow for extended travel. Resources like Visa HQ help with requirements. Cloud tools such as Google Docs and Dropbox ensure work continuity from anywhere, and accommodations can be found via Couchsurfing or Airbnb. Southeast Asia and Latin America are recommended starting points due to ease and affordability. Tech savviness helps, and community forums like Butsanol or Meetplango offer country-specific tips. While work and adventure must be balanced, this lifestyle is attainable and increasingly popular. These stories illustrate that location independence is no longer rare. Many professionals, photographers, developers, consultants have embraced it. Among the most effective business models for this lifestyle is digital publishing. According to Jack Covert of 800 CEO READ, self-publishing has dramatically evolved. High-quality independent works are now rivaling traditionally published books, and many authors are choosing to publish on their own, even turning down traditional deals. Yet you don't need to be an author to benefit. Digital publishing includes one-off products, time-bound courses, and subscription models. For example, Jen Lemon and Andrea Schurz started an online course called Mondo Biondo that encourages life planning and goal-setting for women. Susanna Conway's Unraveling follows a similar structure. Both generate six-figure incomes and thrive on word-of-mouth referrals. Darren Rouse in Australia created large communities around photography and blogging, while Brian Clark in Texas built a $5 million a year business through writing and recurring subscriptions on Copyblogger. Is there still room in the market? Absolutely. Many success stories were excluded simply due to space limitations. While information publishing has a Wild West quality, it's here to stay. What's changed is not the idea but the reach, speed, and quality of modern digital tools. These new-age entrepreneurs, like a guy from Fullerton, California, demonstrate the scale and sustainability of this way of life. The $120,000 ebook, rephrased summary in paragraph form. Brett Kelly, a self-described professional geek working as a software developer, found himself trapped in a stressful lifestyle. Between juggling a demanding job, raising kids, and managing $15,000 in credit card debt in high-cost Southern California, both Brett and his wife Joanna worked opposite schedules just to stay afloat. Inspired by friends who had launched profitable side projects, Brett came up with an idea of his own. As a passionate user of Evernote, he realized there was no comprehensive English language guide for the software. Driven by this gap, he spent months compiling a highly detailed PDF manual called Evernote Essentials, complete with screenshots and tutorials. Unlike many padded ebooks, his was more than 90 pages of solid, practical content. To test its value, Brett made a deal with Joanna. If the guide earned $10,000, she could quit her waitressing job and stay home full-time. He expected this to take months, but just 11 days after launching, Brett hit the goal. He even took a screenshot of the PayPal balance and made it his phone's wallpaper. Within a day, Joanna put in her notice. The ebook went on to consistently earn $300 per day, more than $120,000 per year. If traditionally published, Brett would have made only about $18 daily in royalties. But because it was digital and self-published, nearly all of the income was pure profit. Soon, Evernote's own executives reached out, not with legal concerns, but to offer Brett a job. He accepted a remote position with them, maintaining full rights and profits from the guide. Brett's side project not only eliminated his family's financial struggles but also transformed their quality of life. Now both parents could be present for their children, with the flexibility and freedom to live on their terms. Brett's success demonstrates the core principles of profitable information publishing, combining expertise and passion with a real market need. He packaged useful knowledge into a valuable product and priced it strategically at $25, high enough to convey value without deterring customers. Following a basic publishing model, choosing a compelling topic, producing quality content, creating an offer, Setting a fair price, accepting payments, e.g. via PayPal, and promoting it can lead to substantial results. But not every digital publishing venture is a success. Some creators fall into the trap of believing if you build it, they will come, only to see minimal sales. Many projects fail due to unrealistic expectations or lack of effort. Some hope for $300 a day while neglecting the work required to get there. True success comes from prioritizing the work part of the work-from-anywhere dream. Entrepreneurs like Brandon Pierce, who now earns up to $30,000 a month from a hands-free music software business, only reached that level after significant time and energy invested up front. While the digital nomad lifestyle may be enticing, it's the well-built business that makes it sustainable. Ultimately, the lesson is to find the intersection of what you love and what people will pay for. Information publishing, whether in the form of ebooks, courses, or digital products, offers a powerful path to both financial freedom and lifestyle design. But the key to success remains grounded in effort, strategy, and real value creation. Your customers all have something in common, but it likely has nothing to do with traditional categories like age, gender, or income. As Richard Branson famously said, business opportunities are like buses, there's always another one coming. This idea leads to a critical question: who exactly are your customers and how do you identify them? While you might consider traditional demographics, age, income, and gender, it's often more helpful to think about your customers in terms of their interests, passions, skills, values, and beliefs. For instance, when the author was writing their first book, people in the publishing industry wanted to know about the target market for their growing blog community. However, the community was diverse, with readers ranging from artists and high school students to retirees and entrepreneurs, with a nearly even split between men and women. Eventually, it became clear that the audience didn't fit into typical demographic categories. Instead, they shared a common desire to live unconventional, remarkable lives, driven by a passion for change and pursuing big dreams while also making the world a better place. Thinking about your audience this way can help clarify the people you want to serve, even if you don't want to be a writer yourself. For example, the Kinetic Coffee Company KKC in Arcata, California, found success by targeting outdoor enthusiasts like cyclists, skiers, and backpackers, people who loved the outdoors. Mark Ritz and Charlie Jordan, the owners, leveraged their experience in the cycling and kayak industries along with their shared passion for coffee to create a unique niche. By focusing on the outdoor lifestyle, they differentiated KKC in a crowded coffee market, and their business has flourished with a strong customer base. They also made sure to collaborate with bicycle shops and outdoor stores to expand their reach. In a similar vein, Tom Bin, a bag manufacturer, found success by appealing to a wide variety of customers with shared interests but no clear-cut demographics: students, artists, businesspeople, photographers, and so on. These examples highlight the importance of understanding the shared interests and passions of your customer base, which often transcends traditional demographics. Another way to rethink your customer base is through examples like Chris Murray, who transitioned from working with small daycare centers to targeting larger, multi-location daycare businesses. After refining her offerings, she changed her focus to clients who could afford to pay more, which allowed her business to grow significantly from earning just okay money to making over $20,000 a month. This highlights how shifting both your offerings and your target market can make a significant impact on business success. Sometimes success in business comes down to finding and focusing on the right people, as demonstrated by Ridlin Kiphart, Shark Man, who runs Live Adventurously. After experiencing a series of challenges on a trip in Fiji, including a canceled event due to a local morning ritual, he successfully navigated the situation by relying on prior research and a flexible mindset. His story illustrates the importance of preparation, adaptability, and putting customers first in the face of setbacks. To build a business that resonates with your audience, consider aligning with a popular hobby or passion. For instance, the Paleo diet, which has a dedicated following, presents a business opportunity for entrepreneurs like Jason Glaspie, who created Paleo Plan to help people implement the diet more easily. Jason's business grew quickly, earning more than $6,000 a month with minimal ongoing work thanks to his focus on solving a common problem faced by Paleo followers. Similarly, by focusing on what people are willing to pay for rather than just what they like, you can ensure that your offerings meet a real need. In today's market, the focus is on invitation rather than persuasion. Traditional sales tactics often involve convincing people to buy something, but the new way involves inviting people to be part of something they're already interested in. If you're unsure about what your customers want, one effective strategy is to ask them directly. Surveys, whether simple Google Forms or more detailed services like SurveyMonkey, can help you understand what your potential customers are looking for. However, it's important to remember that the majority opinion isn't everything. Sometimes choosing to walk away from a promising project or customer can be the best decision for your business in the long run. This leads to the realization that while the customer isn't always right, their feedback can still be valuable. In one instance, the author had a successful product launch, but one customer, Dan, was dissatisfied and requested a refund. Instead of engaging with him, the author chose to focus on serving the core market and moving forward with the launch. While there may have been valuable feedback in Dan's complaint, it was ultimately a better decision to continue focusing on the loyal customers who were excited about the product. When you're faced with a multitude of ideas for your business, it's important to first capture and document all of them, even if you don't have time to pursue them right away. The next step is to evaluate these ideas, which can often be overwhelming. While you might have plenty of ideas written down or floating around in your head, the real challenge is deciding which ones are worth pursuing. Sometimes your intuition will guide you to the best option, but in other cases you may feel conflicted and need a more structured approach. One effective method to evaluate competing ideas is by using a decision-making matrix. Start by listing your ideas in a column and then score each one on a scale of 1 to 5 for 4 key criteria: impact, effort, profitability, and vision. Impact refers to how much the project will affect your business and customers, while effort assesses the amount of work required to bring the idea to life, with lower scores indicating more effort. Profitability measures how much money the project will generate, and vision reflects how well the project aligns with your broader business mission. After scoring each idea, add up the total for each one and look for trends. If you need to cut a project, you can easily identify the lowest scoring one. For example, in a previous case, live workshops seemed impactful but required a lot of work for minimal reward, so they were postponed. A webinar project, however, offered a better balance of manageable workload and reasonable results, making it a more viable option. The decision-making matrix helps you prioritize ideas, providing clarity on which ones are worth pursuing and why. This process can also reveal weaknesses in your ideas, as was the case with the live workshops. As your business evolves, you may find yourself adapting to changing customer needs. For instance, James Kirk, who moved from Seattle to South Carolina to open a coffee shop, discovered that his customers in Lexington preferred biscuits and iced tea, something he hadn't anticipated. While he adapted to local preferences, he kept the quality of his core offering, fresh coffee beans and expertly prepared espresso, consistent. Ultimately, understanding your customers, who they are, what they value, and how you can serve them, is key to making informed decisions. Using tools like surveys can help clarify their needs, and leveraging a decision-making matrix provides a clear framework for prioritizing ideas and actions. Jen Adrian and Omar Nouri, graduates from the Columbus College of Art and Design, found themselves in the throes of burnout just a year after starting their careers in the design world. Although they were working in their respective fields, Jen freelancing and teaching, while Omar worked at a design studio, they both felt unfulfilled. During a road trip back from Chicago, they discussed their frustration and future plans, which eventually led to an idea for creating a custom map. The process began as a personal project when they couldn't find a map that suited their needs, so they designed their own. Although they only needed one print, the printer required a minimum order of 50 units, costing $500. Despite this, they decided to invest $250 each. Once they received the prints, they were excited by the result, but with 49 extra maps, they wondered if anyone else would be interested in buying them. They set up a simple website with a PayPal button and, to their surprise, sold out of the initial print run within 10 minutes. Encouraged by the success, they began designing additional maps, including a New York City subway map and a San Francisco neighborhood-themed map. Their business grew steadily as they focused on producing only essential items that matched their design vision. Within 9 months, both had quit their day jobs to work on the business full-time, reigniting their passion for design. Jen and Omar's story exemplifies a key principle: the importance of taking action over excessive planning. Many entrepreneurs struggle with overthinking, but as their story shows, getting started quickly can lead to success. In their case, their marketable idea wasn't groundbreaking but was useful enough to attract customers. They didn't have all the answers at first, but they took the plunge, and their first sale validated their idea. Starting with low costs and a small initial investment, they were able to test the waters without putting themselves into debt. This approach allowed them to learn and adapt as they went, making them more confident in their business. The process of getting the first sale is crucial as it provides the momentum needed to take a business seriously. For instance, Nick Gatens, a photographer in Louisville, Kentucky, initially struggled with the technical aspects of setting up a website. After talking with others, he realized his fear was holding him back and quickly launched his site, leading to his first sale. Like many others, this early success proved to be a powerful motivator for Nick and many entrepreneurs. Before committing significant resources to a product, it's important to test the market to ensure there is demand. This could involve surveys or even marketing a product before fully creating it. A friend of the author did this by selling a $900 guide before it was made, using the sales to finance the production. Jen and Omar also followed this principle by responding to the demand for their maps and refining their products based on customer feedback. They quickly learned that running the business involved more than just designing maps. It required managing fulfillment logistics, which they eventually outsourced to a warehouse to save time. By focusing on low costs, quick action, and adapting to initial success, Jen and Omar built a thriving micro-business. The key elements of their business, product, customers, and payment were established without the need for an extensive business plan. Instead, they focused on responding to market feedback and scaling based on customer demand. When considering freedom and value in business, the key question to ask is, how will this business help people? This is not just about being generous. As a business helps others, the owner also gets paid. Some entrepreneurs create for-profit businesses that center around social good, while others shift their focus towards social causes as their business grows. For some, a social project is integrated within their for-profit venture. A notable example is Kari and Selena Cuff, a husband and wife team from the U.S. who founded a highly profitable business that supports black vineyard owners in South Africa, a country where the wine industry had been dominated by a white minority. Their venture blends entrepreneurship with social justice, positively changing perceptions of Africa and reconnecting people through their business. Another example is Daniel Nassimian, who started Madix Limited, a paintball equipment distributor in Tel Aviv. Later, he combined his business acumen with his nonprofit experience, founding Green Collar, a project aimed at reducing landfill waste and working across borders with Israel and the Palestinian Authority. Through this venture, Daniel feels a sense of fulfillment, knowing he's improving the world while also earning a living. Creating a business that serves both personal goals and societal impact can be deeply rewarding, and many entrepreneurs incorporate social causes into their work. A simple exercise to help clarify the mission of your business is to write a concise mission statement in 140 characters or less, the maximum for a Twitter update. The statement should capture the essence of your business, focusing on the product or service you offer and the benefit to your customers. For instance, a dog walking service might say, "We help busy owners feel at ease about their dogs when they're not around," highlighting the core benefit rather than just the service. Similarly, a business making custom wedding stationery could say, "We help couples feel special about their big day by providing them with amazing invitations." The key is to avoid corporate jargon and focus on the real value you're providing to your customers. Jen and Omar exemplify the $100 startup model, leveraging their unique skills to create a product others value. Their business grew quickly by focusing on what worked, like making more maps, and streamlining what didn't, like avoiding frequent trips to the post office. Instead of overthinking or creating complex plans, they focused on taking action, which ultimately fueled their success. The important lesson is to plan as you go, responding to changing customer needs, and always aim for your first sale as soon as possible. Using tools like the one-page business plan and the 140-character mission statement can help you clarify and launch your business quickly while keeping things simple. Scott McMurran was working in media sales and hosting a travel show in Anchorage, Alaska when a business idea proposed by his friend, Gary Blakely, eventually caught his interest. After 2 years of persuasion and feeling weary of his routine job, Scott decided to give it a shot. The business idea was to create coupon books for independent travelers visiting Alaska, a place known for its high prices, especially during the summer months. The coupon book aimed to offer significant value by providing substantial discounts, such as 2-for-1 deals on services like helicopter tours and hotels. Scott, leveraging his media contacts, was able to secure the discounts, and the coupon book was priced at $99.95. It was marketed as an offer so valuable that using just one coupon could cover the cost of the book, with over 130 other uses available for free. The business flourished for over 15 years, offering travelers a compelling deal they couldn't resist, ensuring a profitable venture. A compelling offer is essential in business, and it can be as irresistible as a fresh slice of orange handed to a marathon runner at mile 18. The key is to understand what people truly want, not just what they say they want, and ensure the offer aligns with their needs. The right offer has to be marketed at the right time and to the right audience. For example, Scott and Gary's coupon book worked because it was a well-targeted offer for travelers in need of discounts on expensive services, and it was made at the right price. Similarly, the yoga studio owner, Jonathan Fields, capitalized on a slow business period by offering an irresistible deal to new members, increasing sign-ups during a typically weak month. The lesson here is that to create an offer that people can't refuse, it must provide clear, immediate value, be presented at the right time, and be marketed to the right audience. This strategy can be applied across industries, whether it's selling discounted hotel rooms like Priceline.com or offering services like graphic facilitation, where professionals like Brandy Agerbeck have successfully built businesses by targeting the right clients with a compelling offer. By ensuring that the offer addresses an existing market inefficiency, businesses can capitalize on untapped opportunities and create offers their customers can't resist. After a long drive from Boise to Salt Lake City, I made a quick stop at a Starbucks, just 20 minutes from the bookstore where I was scheduled to speak. Unfortunately, I left the keys inside my car, a mistake I only realized after spending an hour enjoying my latte and checking emails. In a panic, I quickly located a locksmith using my iPod Touch and phone. To my surprise, he arrived in just 3 minutes and had the door open in under 10 seconds. However, when he asked for $50, I was taken aback. I expected a much lower fee considering the service was so brief. I felt uneasy about the cost despite the fact that he solved my problem quickly. Reflecting on it, I realized that the way we assess the value of goods and services is often irrational. For example, I recalled a time early in my business when I sold a 25-page report on booking cheap flights for $25. While many customers found it valuable, some complained about the length. They didn't see the report's true value even though it saved them hundreds of dollars. This experience taught me that people's perceptions of value are subjective and can be influenced by factors other than the actual worth of a product or service. When crafting an offer, it's essential to think about value from the customer's perspective. One way to do this is by addressing common objections through tools like a well-designed FAQ page, an irresistible guarantee, and over-delivering on expectations. A great FAQ page isn't just about answering questions. It's also about preemptively addressing potential objections. These objections can be general, such as concerns about trust or value, or specific to the product. By anticipating and responding to these objections, you can build trust with potential buyers and reassure them that your offer is worth it. For instance, addressing concerns like, "How do I know this will work?" or "Is this a good investment?" with clear, confident responses can significantly reduce hesitation. An effective guarantee is also crucial in alleviating customer concerns. By offering a straightforward and compelling guarantee, such as a money-back offer, you reduce the perceived risk for the buyer. If possible, tie the guarantee to the promised results of the product to make it even more appealing. For example, I once offered a program where members were guaranteed to earn 100,000 frequent flyer miles a year, or they would get their money back. However, not all businesses can offer such guarantees, and in some cases you may choose not to offer one at all, which can still work as a filtering mechanism for customers who aren't a good fit. Finally, over-delivering can make a big impact on customer satisfaction. After a purchase, people often wonder if they made the right decision. By delivering the product quickly and then surprising the customer with unexpected extras, whether it's an upgrade, a personalized thank you note, or additional resources, you can reinforce their decision and create goodwill. The goal is to exceed expectations, making the customer feel great about their purchase. By thinking through these elements, anticipating objections, providing guarantees, and over-delivering, you can create a compelling offer that not only meets but exceeds your customers' expectations. In the world of Hollywood, blockbuster films are carefully planned and marketed long before their release. These movies often have huge production costs, sometimes exceeding $100 million, and studio executives know that their success largely depends on building anticipation ahead of the release. The key is to generate buzz through early trailers, internet campaigns, and press events, ensuring that the audience is eagerly awaiting the movie's debut. Without this pre-launch strategy, even a great film can fail commercially. The same principle applies to small businesses. Whether launching a new product or offering a special promotion, a successful launch is built through consistent communication and anticipation. Small business owners can use the same techniques as Hollywood studios, gradually unveiling details of their upcoming offer, much like movie trailers build excitement for a film. Carol Guillebeau and Adam Baker, two entrepreneurs with businesses in different parts of the country, took this concept and applied it to their own product launch. After being inspired by Claude Hopkins' book Scientific Advertising, Carol wondered about the potential of a modern fire sale where they would sell a high-value product at a very low price for a limited time. The two men collaborated to create a package worth $1,054, but they sold it for just $97 for 72 hours, with a generous commission for those who helped promote it. The launch was a huge success, raking in $185,755 over 3 days, thanks to their well-executed pre-launch marketing strategy. A successful product launch involves a series of carefully crafted communications, much like the unfolding story of a Hollywood movie. The first step is to give a sneak peek into what's coming, creating intrigue without revealing too much. Then, the business needs to communicate why the project is important and how it will benefit potential customers. As the launch nears, more details are revealed, including when the product will be available, how it works, and any special offers. The final push before the launch should build excitement, and once the product is available, it's time to encourage immediate action with a clear call to action. After the launch, it's important to keep the momentum going. Monitoring the response and addressing any issues that arise, such as customer feedback or technical difficulties, is key to maintaining trust and building relationships with potential buyers. A final reminder before the offer expires helps create urgency, and when the promotion ends, a message of gratitude helps wrap up the campaign. Launching a product can sometimes bring unexpected challenges, as seen in the experience of David Wachtendonk, who faced overwhelming demand after offering a promotion through Groupon. His company sold 3,300 units when they were expecting 1,000 to 1,500, and despite their best efforts, they faced difficulties managing the volume of customers. Nevertheless, the exposure from the promotion provided long-term benefits, and despite some early challenges, they persevered and continued to improve the customer experience. Successful launches aren't just about sales, they are about building relationships and increasing influence. Even those who don't buy the product can become valuable supporters if they resonate with the story and value the message being communicated. The key to a successful launch lies in telling a compelling story, ensuring that the audience can relate to it, and creating a sense of urgency while respecting their timing. The launch of the Empire Building Kit is another example of storytelling and timing at work. The creator of the course, while planning the launch, had an idea inspired by a train journey. Using the story of his travel to Portland as a backdrop, he made the launch an event in itself, aligning the product's release with the train's arrival at its destination. The well-timed, story-driven approach resulted in over $100,000 in sales in just 24 hours, showing the power of a well-crafted launch narrative. Even people who weren't interested in the course were drawn to the story, demonstrating how storytelling can engage and build relationships with an audience. Andreas Cambanis faced numerous setbacks after finishing university as he struggled to avoid traditional jobs and instead focused on building something for himself. His goal was to create an iPhone app and an online guide for London cycling routes, but early challenges, including a lawsuit threat after using the name London Cyclist, made the journey difficult. While his friends moved forward with traditional careers, Andreas stayed home with little money, reflecting on his ambitions. Despite these obstacles, he continued working on the app and planned a launch just before leaving for a personal trip to Brazil. However, just weeks before the launch, his partner dropped out, forcing Andreas to scale back the expectations for the launch but decide to continue on his own. On the day of the launch, Andreas, at Heathrow Airport, launched the app just 30 minutes before boarding his flight. Once airborne, Andreas was unable to check the results until landing in Sao Paulo, where he found a flood of orders coming in. While not a fortune, the launch had covered his flight and first week of lodging, a surprising success that kept him hooked on checking sales throughout his journey to Rio. For Andreas, the launch was a powerful motivator, especially with the deadline of his flight looming. The physical deadline pushed him to complete the project despite the challenges, making it a crucial part of his success. A successful launch requires thoughtful strategy and preparation, as illustrated by Anastasia Valentine, an independent children's book publisher. She, like Andreas, used anticipation to build excitement. Despite not having a large marketing budget, she asked everyone she knew for support, resulting in significant positive responses. Her offline launch event was a success, with a line forming outside the door, and the event led to a 267% increase in web traffic and a doubling of her mailing list. The experience taught her the importance of asking for help and not assuming who would or wouldn't be interested in the event. For those planning their own launches, the 39-step product launch checklist serves as a comprehensive guide. It starts with ensuring your product has a clear value proposition and includes steps like building anticipation, offering bonuses for early buyers, and proofreading all sales materials. The checklist also emphasizes the importance of planning ahead, such as preparing social media posts, testing payment systems, and creating a backup plan for funds. Additionally, setting a clear monetary goal and preparing for follow-up communication with buyers is crucial for a successful launch. On the big day, it's important to schedule the launch at the optimal time for your audience and handle any technical glitches swiftly. Afterward, thanking early buyers and asking for help spreading the word is essential for continued momentum. Post-launch, it's important not to rest for too long, as you've gained attention and trust from new customers. Reflecting on what worked and how to improve can help you continue building success. A successful launch doesn't just end with the first product. It sets the stage for the next one. Ultimately, a good launch combines strategy and tactics with a strong story and clear, timely reasons for your audience to care about your offer. This excerpt highlights the power of hustling, authentic self-promotion, and building relationships rather than relying on traditional paid advertising. Elizabeth McCrellish's story about Squam Art Workshops illustrates how organic growth through word of mouth, community engagement, and strategic giving can create a thriving business without spending a dime on ads. The key takeaway here is the distinction between style and substance in marketing. Style without substance is flash, which doesn't earn respect. Substance without style makes you unknown. But when you combine both style with substance, it creates an impact, something truly memorable and influential. For Andreas, the launch was a powerful motivator, especially with the deadline of his flight looming. The physical deadline pushed him to complete the project despite the challenges, making it a crucial part of his success. A successful launch requires thoughtful strategy and preparation, as illustrated by Anastasia Valentine, an independent children's book publisher. She, like Andreas, used anticipation to build excitement. Despite not having a large marketing budget, she asked everyone she knew for support, resulting in significant positive responses. Her offline launch event was a success, with a line forming outside the door, and the event led to a 267% increase in web traffic and a doubling of her mailing list. The experience taught her the importance of asking for help and not assuming who would or wouldn't be interested in the event. For those planning their own launches, the 39-step product launch checklist serves as a comprehensive guide. It starts with ensuring your product has a clear value proposition and includes steps like building anticipation, offering bonuses for early buyers, and proofreading all sales materials. The checklist also emphasizes the importance of planning ahead, such as preparing social media posts, testing payment systems, and creating a backup plan for funds. Additionally, setting a clear monetary goal and preparing for follow-up communication with buyers is crucial for a successful launch. On the big day, it's important to schedule the launch at the optimal time for your audience and handle any technical glitches swiftly. Afterward, thanking early buyers and asking for help spreading the word is essential for continued momentum. Post-launch, it's important not to rest for too long as you've gained attention and trust from new customers. Reflecting on what worked and how to improve can help you continue building success. A successful launch doesn't just end with the first product. It sets the stage for the next one. Ultimately, a good launch combines strategy and tactics with a strong story and clear, timely reasons for your audience to care about your offer. This excerpt highlights the power of hustling, authentic self-promotion, and building relationships rather than relying on traditional paid advertising. Elizabeth McCrellish's story about Squam Art Workshops illustrates how organic growth through word of mouth, community engagement, and strategic giving can create a thriving business without spending a dime on ads. The key takeaway here is the distinction between style and substance in marketing. Style without substance is flash, which doesn't earn respect. Substance without style makes you unknown. But when you combine both style with substance, it creates an impact, something truly memorable and influential. Hustling involves putting your work and message out there in an authentic way. It's about finding the balance between creating something worth talking about and putting yourself forward so people notice. Whether through personal networks, community building, or free offers like Megan Hunt's gift packages or John Moorfield's 5-cent architecture advice, the success of many businesses has stemmed from making a real impact without paying for visibility. In essence, hustle is about leveraging your existing relationships, helping others, and creating value, all while promoting yourself in a non-sleazy, genuine way. Paid advertising might still play a role, but it's not the only path to success. The goal is to get noticed by offering something that resonates with your audience and doing so in a way that's true to your values and mission. Naomi Dunford's journey to entrepreneurial success is a testament to resilience and resourcefulness. As a teenage mother and high school dropout, Naomi found herself in a homeless shelter while pregnant with her second child. However, she was determined to improve her situation. With a background in marketing, thanks to her family, she opened a consulting company called Audiobook, focusing on helping businesses without marketing departments. Initially offering brainstorming sessions for $250 an hour, Naomi's service quickly gained traction, and within a year, she earned nearly $200,000. Despite a raw, direct communication style that may have turned some people away, Naomi's success lies in her ability to remind business owners that making money should be the primary focus. She emphasized that businesses should be accountable to their bottom line, not just to their popularity or online following. Naomi's story, along with that of Heather Allard, a successful entrepreneur who sold wearable baby blankets and later launched the Mogul Mom to mentor other women, illustrates two key business principles: focus on profit and avoid unnecessary debt. Heather learned from her first business that overspending on advertising and custom websites was a mistake, and she applied more disciplined financial strategies in her second venture. Both Naomi and Heather demonstrate that borrowing money or taking on debt to start a business is not always necessary. Many successful entrepreneurs, including Shay Vitry, Michael Traynor, Tara Gentile, Chris Dunphy, Sherry V. Ard, and Charlie Pabst, have started businesses with minimal initial investment, proving that a small budget does not hinder success. Their stories reveal that starting a business with limited funds is not only possible but can often lead to greater success, as small businesses are easier to manage and grow. When raising funds is necessary, unconventional methods can be effective. For instance, Shannon Oki raised over $12,000 through Kickstarter for her craft publishing business after a bank rejected her loan application. Similarly, Emma Reynolds and Bruce Morton, unable to get a business loan, borrowed $17,000 for a car loan and used the funds to start a successful consultancy. Kristen McNamara funded her California climbing gym through community investments, raising $80,000 with promises of a 3% return. These examples illustrate that there are many creative ways to raise capital for a business, showing that traditional loans are not the only option for entrepreneurs. In Part 2 of the book, the focus is on 3 key principles to help increase profitability in business. The first principle emphasizes pricing based on the benefits your product or service offers rather than the cost to produce it. It's important to understand that pricing should reflect the value the customer receives, not just the time and effort spent creating the product. Many businesses succeed by offering value, not by competing on price, which is evident in examples like Gary Leff, who charges a flat rate for booking vacations, and Silly Pines, who sells haggadas for far more than their material costs. The second principle suggests offering a limited range of prices. Instead of offering a single price, businesses should provide multiple options to increase income without needing more customers. For example, Apple offers different versions of its products at various price points, encouraging customers to choose based on their budget and needs. Offering a range of prices can increase overall sales and provide a psychological benefit, making lower-priced options seem more affordable compared to higher-priced versions. The third principle focuses on recurring payments, or getting paid more than once for the same product or service. This can be achieved through subscription models, continuity programs, or memberships which generate reliable, ongoing income. Examples include services like Netflix or iTunes, where customers pay monthly for access. Businesses that use this model often see much higher revenues over time compared to one-time purchases. For example, 100 subscribers at $20 a month would generate $2,000 a month or $24,000 annually. Once customers are engaged with a recurring service, they are more likely to purchase additional offerings, making this model highly profitable. The key to these principles is realizing that with a creative approach, businesses can increase their income and sustainability without relying on external funding or borrowing. The importance of finding multiple ways to get paid, such as experimenting with pricing, offering subscription models, or leveraging your social capital, can help entrepreneurs succeed even when starting small. In this section, the focus is on the concept of tweaks, small adjustments in existing businesses that can lead to significant increases in income. The idea of improving income through incremental changes is not new, as case studies often show how growing a business is easier once it's up and running. For many entrepreneurs, it's the first sale, no matter how small, that signals the potential for success. As one example, Nev Lapwood, a former ski bum in Whistler, British Columbia, turned his passion for snowboarding into a thriving online business, Snowboard Addiction. By teaching snowboarding virtually through tutorials, Nev expanded his reach globally, earning $30,000 in his first year. The following year, by scaling with affiliates and expanding his product line, he almost quadrupled his income. Despite setbacks, Nev's business reached new heights, ultimately generating $300,000 in annual income. He attributes his success to both the growing momentum and the careful tweaks he made, such as expanding his customer base and refining his offerings. The core of tweaking lies in making small, consistent improvements across 3 primary areas: increasing traffic, improving conversion rates, and raising the average sales price. For instance, boosting traffic to a site means bringing in more attention, which then increases the potential for conversions. Small changes, such as increasing conversion rates even by a small percentage or attracting just one additional customer per day, can significantly impact a business's bottom line. Another effective tweak involves increasing the average sales price, which can be achieved through upsells, cross-sells, and post-sale offers, all of which encourage customers to spend more. Business owners are encouraged to keep experimenting and testing strategies, from A/B testing to exploring different sales techniques. For example, some companies may use their confirmation pages to offer upsells or ask for referrals, both of which can lead to higher profits. Additionally, holding contests or offering powerful guarantees like free shipping or a 110% satisfaction guarantee can boost customer loyalty and attract more attention. Another helpful strategy is to transition from offering just products to providing services or vice versa. For example, a restaurant could expand its revenue by offering cooking classes when the restaurant is closed, or a product-based business might introduce coaching or consulting services. This approach allows businesses to tap into additional revenue streams and offer more value to customers. A real-world example is Happy Knits, a yarn store in Portland, Oregon, that thrives despite the challenges facing the retail industry. By creating a welcoming in-store atmosphere, offering exclusive deals, maintaining a strong online presence, and providing exceptional customer service, Happy Knits has cultivated a loyal customer base. Whether online or in-store, the store's focus on quality and personalization has set it apart from competitors, showing that even small businesses can thrive with the right tweaks. Raising prices regularly can be a strategic move for service providers, even though it's often feared that price increases might drive clients away. In many cases, however, service providers find that clients are surprisingly receptive to higher prices. Several providers shared that when they informed their clients of a price increase, the response was overwhelmingly positive, with clients saying things like, "It's about time. You're worth more than you've been charging." One developer, Andy Dunn, had a similar experience. After initially pricing his services too low in an effort to attract business, he raised his rates by 25% and found that it not only improved his financial situation but also gave him more confidence. He learned that clients did not mind the increase and, in fact, appreciated the value he provided. Andy's story mirrors that of many other service providers, including veterinarians, voice coaches, consultants, and designers. A study conducted in 2010 found that freelancers who raised their rates were often surprised by how smoothly the process went. Most clients simply accepted the new rates without complaint. Many of these service providers now recommend regular price increases as part of a business strategy. This practice helps normalize price hikes for clients who, like shoppers at a grocery store, expect price increases over time. Some service providers suggest setting a regular date for rate changes, such as the beginning of the calendar year, and offering discounts to long-term clients to maintain loyalty. The key to successful pricing, they advise, is to base rates on the value delivered rather than the time spent. In addition to pricing strategies, social media can also play a key role in business growth. Contrary to the common advice that social media success comes from promoting others, it's actually more effective to talk about yourself and your business. People follow you because they are interested in what you have to say. Shaquille O'Neal, for example, has a large following on Twitter not because he promotes others, but because people are curious about his thoughts. So, if you're using social media for business, don't be afraid to talk about yourself and your work. When it comes to business growth, it's important to recognize that scaling is a personal choice. Some entrepreneurs deliberately turn down opportunities to grow because they don't want the complexity of managing a larger operation. For those who do wish to grow, it's possible to increase income without hiring additional employees or bringing in investors. Small businesses can often grow by tweaking their existing strategies, such as adding new services, creating upsell or cross-sell opportunities, or expanding horizontally or vertically. Horizontal growth involves reaching more customers with different products, while vertical growth focuses on deepening engagement with existing customers by offering more levels of service. Ultimately, business growth doesn't always require a big team, and with careful decision-making, entrepreneurs can scale their businesses in ways that suit their goals. The idea of buying a franchise based on someone else's company often turns out to be a poor business model. The typical franchise pitch involves raising a large sum of money through personal savings, loans, and credit cards only to pay most of it up front to the company, which will then dictate how the business is run. From hiring to product offerings and even uniform colors, every detail is controlled by the franchisor. If the business succeeds, the franchisee might make around $47,000 per year after working long hours, essentially buying themselves a job. If it fails, the company will simply take back the store and resell it, not counting the failure as a closure. This situation often leads to the franchisee being financially burdened with debt and lacking control over their own business. However, there's an alternative: building a business of your own. This approach offers ownership and control, allowing you to leverage your skills, activities, and passions to create a more profitable and sustainable venture. Unlike simply working harder, franchising yourself means strategically growing your business by taking calculated steps to reach more people or expand your offerings. For instance, Natalie Lucier, a former software engineer, pursued her passion for health and wellness by transitioning from a raw foods diet to a business that helped others do the same. She created a program and built a brand around it, growing her business to $60,000 in its first year. However, Natalie didn't stop there. She expanded by creating a tech consulting business, effectively franchising herself and running both businesses on autopilot. Similarly, Brooke Thomas, a holistic health practitioner, leveraged her experience to create a second business, Practice Abundance, which offered training for other wellness providers. This allowed her to reach two distinct audiences: clients seeking wellness care and other practitioners looking for business guidance. Both Natalie and Brooke show how franchising yourself can involve expanding your reach with the same message to a larger audience or reaching different people with a new message. Both strategies can lead to rewarding results. When growing a business, one effective approach is the hub-and-spoke model, where your main website, the hub, acts as the central platform for your brand, while outposts, social media, networking, etc. support and drive traffic to that hub. Focusing on the hub rather than overinvesting in external platforms is essential for maintaining ownership of your content and ensuring long-term success. However, the journey of business ownership isn't without its risks and challenges. For example, Niani Cormine, a freelance photographer in Ghana, faced a nightmare scenario when a client demanded copyright of his images under threat of detainment in a politically unstable region. This unfortunate experience taught him the importance of securing contracts up front to avoid such situations in the future. Finally, one of the most powerful ways to grow your business is through partnerships. By teaming up with a trusted partner, you can create a joint venture that combines your strengths and resources to build something greater than what you could achieve on your own. A successful partnership can lead to more significant returns, with the combined effort being at least 33% larger than what each individual could accomplish alone. Clear agreements, such as revenue sharing, responsibilities, and marketing efforts, should be established early on to ensure the partnership's success. After graduating from art school, Jamila Tazewell followed the typical route of waiting tables in New York City while pursuing her true passion. However, instead of waiting for a fashion house to discover her work, she decided to take matters into her own hands and start her own business, creating unique handbags and wallets. Initially, she believed her accessories would sell themselves, but soon realized that she would have to market and sell them herself. Moving to Los Angeles, she worked full-time to sell her creations, but the business struggled as she took on every task alone. 3 years later, Jamila made the pivotal decision to hire a local seamstress to assist with production and later brought in someone to handle printing and shipping. This shift, though challenging, was liberating as it allowed her to free up time and move the business forward. The decision to outsource or hire contractors sparked a wide range of opinions in the business community. For many, outsourcing provided the freedom and scalability they needed. Megan Hunt, for example, shared how hiring employees allowed her to grow her business, accept more orders, and focus on moving forward despite her initial hesitation to take on the role of a boss. Similarly, Jonathan Pincas outsourced his warehousing and logistics operations, while Jen Adrian and Omar Nouri outsourced printing to scale their business without sacrificing quality. These entrepreneurs believed that outsourcing gave them the freedom to expand without having to do everything themselves. On the other hand, some business owners preferred to keep things small and manageable, rejecting the idea of outsourcing. Gary Leff, for instance, struggled with the idea of delegating tasks, fearing that it might compromise his reputation. Adam Westbrook took pride in running his business alone, minimizing overhead and risks, while Jaden Hare echoed this sentiment by choosing to work from home with no employees. Andy Dunn found that outsourcing contractors often resulted in more time spent managing their work than doing it himself, and Brandy Agerbeck preferred to maintain complete control over her business. These business owners argued that staying small and lean allowed them to retain more freedom and maintain a high level of control. Ultimately, the decision to outsource depends on both the type of business and the personality of the owner. For some, outsourcing is essential to freeing up time and expanding the business, while for others it may introduce complexities and disrupt their desired level of control. The key is understanding the specific needs of the business and choosing the approach that aligns with the owner's goals and vision for freedom. In addition to outsourcing, some entrepreneurs rely on bartering, family help, and other forms of collaboration. Brooke Snow, for example, used trades to acquire photography lessons, website design, and tech support, which helped her operate her business without incurring significant expenses. Others, like Eleanor Merhofer and Natalie Lucier, found that involving family members in small tasks like bookkeeping or house cleaning improved their productivity and allowed them to focus on their core business. As a business grows, it's important to continuously assess and improve various aspects of it. Conducting a business audit involves looking at key areas such as revenue generation, marketing materials, pricing strategies, and customer relations. For instance, focusing on the most profitable products or services, reviewing sales copy, ensuring proper post-purchase processes, and testing different strategies can lead to significant improvements over time. Erica Kosminski's experience with her transcription business further illustrates the importance of flexibility and adaptability. After being laid off from her job, Erica started a transcription service and differentiated herself by offering formatted transcripts. As her business grew, she chose to hire contractors instead of employees to keep her operations flexible and scalable. This approach allowed her to manage a fluctuating workload and maintain a work-life balance. When her daughter fell ill, Erica was able to rely on her contractors to keep the business running smoothly in her absence, demonstrating the benefits of a well-structured, contractor-based business model. Affiliate programs have become a popular way for merchants to collaborate with partners to increase traffic and sales, offering affiliates a commission for their efforts. Although other businesses experimented with this model earlier, Amazon.com pioneered the mainstream affiliate partnership in 1996, inviting customers to become revenue-sharing partners. Since then, nearly every major retailer, along with many small businesses, has implemented affiliate programs. Setting up an affiliate program is relatively easy, and it can help you expand your reach by bringing in partners who promote your products. Done well, it can create a steady income stream even in uncertain economic conditions. However, many affiliate programs suffer from two significant issues: low commissions and lackluster effort from affiliates. In most cases, affiliates are only passively passing along referrals with minimal engagement. A successful merchant can address these issues by offering higher commissions upfront, while also expecting affiliates to put more effort into promoting the product. In my own business, I offer a 51% commission to affiliates under the principle that they should earn more than I do for promoting my work. I also encourage affiliates to engage more deeply with their audience, such as by using the products, writing reviews, or offering bonuses. This type of program attracts higher quality partners and ensures that affiliates are more invested in the success of the business. While outsourcing and partnerships can help businesses grow, relying on others doesn't always guarantee success. A small business example that didn't benefit from such an arrangement involves Spencer and Hannah Copley, two young entrepreneurs who started a garbage collection service on a hospital ship in West Africa. The service was a hit, with 10 customers signing up immediately and many more following. The business generated $25 a week, which the siblings spent wisely, tithing 10% to an orphanage, saving 40% for a future puppy, and spending 50% on discretionary items. However, when Spencer and Hannah went on a 3-month leave to Washington State, they handed the business over to 2 other children. Unfortunately, the new management was less diligent and the service became unreliable. Many customers canceled their subscriptions and bill collection fell behind. This experience highlights the importance of having a clear, one-page partnership agreement in place and active management to ensure consistent service and customer satisfaction. In conclusion, leveraging skills and contacts can help you grow your business and reach more people. Strategies like outsourcing, affiliate recruitment, and partnerships can allow you to expand your reach while maintaining a central online presence. When it comes to outsourcing and partnerships, it's important to assess the type of business you're building and your own personality to make the best decisions. Carefully chosen partnerships, backed by simple agreements, can create significant leverage, but it's essential to ensure that the arrangement aligns with your goals. Entrepreneurs often come in two types: those who take big risks, charging forward in their ventures without regard for the consequences, and those who build their businesses more cautiously, taking it step by step. The common misconception is that all entrepreneurs are bold, high-risk takers, but the truth is that they simply perceive risk and security differently from others. Silai Pines, an Israeli-American designer based in Portland, Oregon, exemplifies a more cautious approach. Over 8 years, she built a business creating custom-designed Jewish wedding contracts, ketubot. Initially, she worked on the business part-time while maintaining a regular job, which allowed her to experiment without financial pressure. As the business grew, Silai eventually decided to go full-time in 2009, only to find that the pressure of relying solely on her creative work drained her. Realizing that the all-or-nothing approach wasn't for her, Silai returned to her design studio part-time, balancing a stable income with the flexibility of running her own business. This move gave her the security she needed while still allowing her to grow her business at her own pace. Silai's experience highlights the importance of defining the role a business will play in one's life and balancing growth with personal fulfillment. The choice between growing a business or keeping it small is a challenge many entrepreneurs face. Some opt to stay small to preserve their quality of life, while others pursue moderate growth to enhance their business's stability and brand identity. Sherry V. Ard, for instance, made a conscious decision not to expand her software business despite its success. Having watched her father's business grow too large and stressful, Sherry chose to keep her business manageable, prioritizing her quality of life over financial gains. She and her partner, Chris, travel freely, earning a decent income while maintaining control over their work-life balance. Similarly, Tom Bin, the owner of a successful bag-making business, rejected the opportunity to distribute his products through mass-market retailers, preferring to maintain control over his brand and production. Tom's decision to focus on small-scale, direct sales allowed his business to thrive without the pressure of external growth forces. On the other hand, Jessica Reagan Salzman, a bookkeeper, initially grew her business part-time but was forced to scale up when her husband was laid off. However, as the business grew, she found that it introduced higher costs and more fixed obligations, so she scaled back to a sole proprietorship to maintain flexibility and profitability. No matter which path an entrepreneur chooses, the key challenge is to work on the business rather than just in it. Operating a business can easily become a cycle of putting out fires, but setting aside time for strategic planning and improvement is essential for long-term success. Entrepreneurs should focus on areas like business development, offer development, fixing long-standing problems, pricing reviews, and customer communication. This higher-level approach helps ensure consistent growth and forward motion even when the daily grind can feel overwhelming. Additionally, as many entrepreneurs in the U.S. face the challenge of obtaining health insurance while self-employed, various options such as high-deductible policies, concierge programs, or staying on COBRA can offer solutions, though they come with their own pros and cons. Regardless of the route taken, taking the time to work on the business while managing personal and financial stability can make a significant difference in achieving success. Monitoring the health of your business is crucial regardless of your growth strategy. A simple two-pronged approach works best. First, select 1 or 2 key metrics to track daily, such as sales, cash flow, or incoming leads. Second, reserve a bi-weekly or monthly review to take a deeper dive into the overall performance of your business. In our group, some members were more diligent about tracking metrics, while others admitted to being less informed about their business's financial state. Personally, I believe that, while personalities and skill sets may differ, delegating all financial knowledge to someone else can be risky. Not understanding your business's finances is typically a red flag. The metrics you choose to track will vary depending on your business type. Common metrics include daily sales, the number of visitors or leads, average order value, sales conversion rate, and net promoter score, which shows how many customers would refer your business. Some businesses may opt for more specific metrics. For example, Brandy Agerbeck, a graphic facilitator, tracks her annual corporate and non-profit bookings with index cards. When they're filled, she knows she's set for a while. A deeper review once or twice a month allows you to assess more detailed metrics, such as sales data, site traffic, and social media growth. You can find free spreadsheets to help with this process on the book's website. John Warrillow, who built and sold 4 companies, advocates for a specific model aimed at small business owners who want to sell their business one day. His approach emphasizes creating a business that can operate independently of the owner's skills. This built-to-sell model contrasts with the approach we've discussed, where entrepreneurs often start businesses based on passion rather than with the intention of selling. John's insights are valuable for owners aiming to eventually sell their business, but his recommendations can also be adapted to improve a business even if you plan to stay involved. The key question when deciding between these two paths is, what kind of freedom do you want? John's model focuses on building a business that operates independently of you with the goal of selling it for a large profit. In contrast, the $100 startup model is about creating a business based on your skills or passion. Both paths are valid, and the choice depends on your personal goals. To sell a business, John suggests creating something scalable, meaning it must be both teachable and valuable. For instance, a CPA offers a valuable service but can't easily pass on the work to others, making the business harder to scale. On the other hand, busboy work is easy to teach but not a highly valuable service. A business with the potential for sale must occupy the intersection of teachable and valuable. John's businesses, like a subscription-based financial research service and a focus group firm, were both valuable and scalable. The solutions entrepreneurs like Silai, Sherry, Tom, Jessica, and John implemented varied widely. Some, like Tom, declined big-box retailer deals but embraced hiring employees to grow on their terms, while others, like Sherry, preferred to keep things small. Silai found stability by growing her business while contracting with her former employer. What these entrepreneurs shared was a sense of control over their own destinies and the freedom found in nurturing meaningful projects. As your business grows, you'll make similar decisions based on your vision and preferences. The key takeaway: these decisions are important and put you in a good position. There is more than one path to freedom, and many entrepreneurs find it by combining various strategies. Whether you choose to pursue growth or stay small, both are valid options, and you can even strike a balance between the two. Focus on working on your business by dedicating time each day to activities that improve it, rather than simply reacting to day-to-day challenges. Regularly monitor 1 or 2 key metrics that drive your business and review other metrics on a monthly or bi-weekly basis. To build a scalable business, it must be both teachable and valuable. If you ever wish to sell, it's essential to build teams and reduce your personal dependency on the business. In the journey to success, many entrepreneurs have shared their stories of overcoming failure and adversity. One of the most remarkable stories is that of John T. Unger, a sculpture artist from Michigan whose tale embodies resilience in the face of hardship. His journey began when the roof of his studio collapsed while he was frantically shoveling snow. This disaster, while devastating, led to a surprising turn of events. The bank assessed the damage and awarded him a $10,000 commission, which allowed him to purchase 2 buildings he had been eyeing for some time. He credits the collapse with forcing the bank to take a real look at his business, which they had previously overlooked. Another pivotal moment in John's life came when he lost his job as a graphic designer during the dot-com crash of 2000. This loss, coupled with other personal struggles, could have derailed him, but he stuck with his artistic vision. The final catalyst for his transformation occurred during a harrowing encounter with a crazed cab driver who held a gun to his head for 10 minutes. This near-death experience profoundly altered his perspective, making him feel grateful for life and more determined than ever to pursue his dreams. Many successful business owners have shared similar insights about the challenges they faced and how they found success through perseverance. One key lesson is the importance of trusting your own judgment and ignoring unsolicited advice. For example, Charlie Pabst, a Seattle-based designer, emphasizes that his success wouldn't have been possible if he hadn't been obnoxiously stubborn and ignored the advice of others who didn't understand his vision. Shea Vitry, the founder of a Denver food tour business, also learned the importance of trusting her own instincts, despite receiving advice that contradicted her research. The most successful entrepreneurs often emphasize the need to take action rather than waiting for permission or external validation. When asked about their fears, successful business owners often cite concerns related to money, competition, and the changing marketplace. For instance, some businesses, especially those reliant on technology or digital platforms, face the risk of market changes that could render their business model obsolete. Others, like Marianne Cascone, who runs a children's clothing business, worry about competitors copying their designs or undercutting their prices. But despite these fears, many entrepreneurs focus on delivering quality and customer satisfaction, believing that their commitment to excellence will allow them to rise above the competition. Finally, the moment when entrepreneurs realize that their business is going to succeed is often a deeply personal experience. For Gary Leff, the moment came when he received a payment from his first client, realizing there was real money on the table. Karen Starr, who runs an interior design business, had a breakthrough moment when she convinced a bank to approve a loan they had previously been denied, which allowed her to move forward with her dream. Similarly, David Fugate, who runs a literary agency, knew his business would succeed after signing a big client, despite facing difficulties with that client later on. These stories illustrate the power of perseverance and the importance of moments of affirmation which provide encouragement during tough times. Whether it's a significant business milestone or a moment of personal growth, these moments serve as reinforcement that success is within reach. In recap, the pursuit of personal freedom starts with providing value to others. The key lesson from the book is to focus on helping people, as this foundation makes everything else easier. Borrowing money or going into debt to start a business is no longer necessary. Many of the entrepreneurs in the book started with as little as $100. The goal is to find the intersection between what you love to do and what others are willing to pay for, especially focusing on emotional needs like love and affirmation. Relating your product or service to attractive benefits rather than boring features can make a significant difference. The book emphasizes the importance of recognizing your skills, as being good at one thing often means you're good at other things too. It also stresses the significance of offering something specific and making it easy to get paid if you're thinking about consulting. Some business models are easier to start on a budget, and unless there's a compelling reason to do otherwise, the knowledge economy is a great place to start. Action should take priority over endless planning. Quick start guides like the one-page business plan can help you get going without delay. Launching a product with fanfare can often lead to greater success than a quiet release. The journey of entrepreneurship isn't without challenges, but the first sale is the hardest. Once you've made it, focus on improving what's working and ignoring what's not. You can also scale your business by franchising yourself through partnerships or outsourcing. Deciding whether to keep your business small or to scale it up is up to you. Over time, the process becomes easier and more rewarding. The stories of individuals like James Kirk, who successfully started Jamestown Coffee Company despite initial setbacks, or Jen and Omar's map business, highlight the importance of persistence. Other examples like Brett Kelly's successful ebook, Emily Cavalier's move to a food tourism business, and Carol Guida's six-figure sales further prove that it's possible to achieve success, even when the odds seem against you. The key takeaway is that failure is not inevitable. Success is equally possible if you apply the lessons and keep moving forward. In the end, the most important lesson is not to waste your time living someone else's life. The book closes by showing how these principles are not just applicable in Western economies but also in places like Cambodia, where individuals like Rhett, a tuk-tuk driver, build success through creativity, hard work, and strategic thinking. Rhett's story exemplifies how, regardless of education or starting point, entrepreneurial principles can lead to success. Even in the developing world, where resources may be limited, small business creation in the informal economy plays a key role. As you work on improving your circumstances, consider how these principles apply globally. The author also encourages readers to contribute to organizations that support others in their entrepreneurial journey, further reinforcing the book's core message of freedom through value and creating opportunity for all. You've just heard one story, but there are thousands more. People like you turning $100 into independence. You don't need more time. You need to begin. This is the $100 Startup. Like the video if you're ready to bet on yourself. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to change your future.